Hello, everyone, and welcome. And it's vlog time. Um, I don't know if it's the fact that Christmas is coming up and Christmas was my wife's favorite time of the year, or just the fact that I've been thinking a lot. But we're going to talk about. I gotta get comfortable. But we're going to have a quick talk about what was probably the worst day of my life. So, TLDR, I was married for 18 years, and it's the reason I moved to Canada. And unfortunately, last year, 2022, my wife passed away from cancer. You'd think that the day that she died would be the worst day of my life, but we're going to get to that. Basically, what happened was I've said this before, but I graduated college, and then I finished college, and it was a month before graduation, and my wife had cancer for about 9 years, and I watched her slowly deteriorate, and both mentally and physically, which in itself was a hard thing to do. Um, and I hope nobody that sees this video has to go through that in their life, because it is absolutely horrible, and it's really taxing mentally and physically on the person doing the caring as well. But basically, the worst day of my life, I had a bit of whiskey in that, as this is an easy thing to talk about. But basically, the worst day was like she got well enough to get out to see me graduate, which is what she wanted. And then she was, and it was like the Monday after my graduation ceremony, she ended up back in the hospital. And basically, the cancer in her liver had wasn't clearing out the bacteria, and it got up into her brain, and basically sent her off the deep edge, and basically made her into a Looney Tune. But after being in there a week, she slowly went downhill, and basically I was sitting there in the room with her because I wasn't working that time, because as I said, I just graduated college and hadn't had a chance to find a job yet. And the doctor came in and told me that there wasn't really much more they could do. And she wanted to know. Well, she gave me the options of leaving everything hooked up, the IV, the feeding tube, the oxygen, all that, or or basically pulling it all. And basically, me and my son were the only family here. Unfortunately, her sister lives in Quebec, son in Ontario, my stepson and my stepdaughter lives on the other side of the country. So basically, I was left to make the decisions by myself. Um, I did call her sister once I had made the decision, just to let her know. But life doesn't prepare you for moments like that. And even now, it's been what, 16 months, almost 17 months, and I still think now and then, did I make the right decision? But so yeah, so Basically, the options were leave everything hooked up with no chance of improvement, or unhook everything and see if her body kicked back in and started working. Um, I think it was one of the most mind breaking things I've ever done in my 43 years of existence. It was horrible, horrible going home. And thinking that I had given permission to unhook everything. And unfortunately, I'm the kind of person that'll like hold everything in. I'm not very emotional generally. Generally, I'll just hold everything in and just deal with it myself. I don't really talk to people about things, but well, my therapist said I should. Which I think is one of the reasons why I'm making this video. But, I mean, in the end, it's like decisions have to be made. And sometimes decisions aren't easy, sometimes decisions aren't fun. If life was supposed to be fun, it wouldn't be worth living, would it? But, so basically, I gave permission to unhook everything, and they moved to palliative care. And they figured a week without anything, and if her body didn't kick in, it would be job done. The weird thing is, she was in palliative care like 3 days, and she was back to normal. And here I was. It was like, sweet, everything's working, back to normal, everything's good. And then, so they moved her back up to a ward, hooked back up the IV and everything. And then a week later, back in the same spot. Doctor walks in, says, well, she's going downhill again. Nothing can be done. We're at the point where nothing can be done. Everything's basically decided. You got the same options as you had last time. Somebody's trying to message me, apparently. But anyway, so once again, I was in that position. Do I unhook? Do I not unhook? Do we see what happens? So after discussing it with her sister this time before I made the decision, because I didn't want to be the one to make that decision again, we decided we'll try again, see if her body can kick in. And basically, she lasted 2 weeks without any IV or anything hooked up like that, without any food or anything. So at least I had the time to let it sink in what was going to happen. I think that's the thing that actually mattered. And why her death wasn't as bad as accepting that everything needed to be unhooked. But life has a really weird way of kicking you in the ass. Right when you least expect it, things are hard and horrible. And I found it really hard to move on with my life. I really have. Like, I mean, I've managed to find a job. Not the job I want, but the job I need right now. Because certifications are expensive. My son's still alive. And as somebody that was like mostly working and doing school and that when he was growing up, and never really having to like play full time father because my wife basically did a lot of it, it's been a little rough. But I'm here to basically, this whole thing is life is going to kick you in the nuts. It is just going to reach in there, just grab what it can, and yank as hard as it can. But even when it does that, there's always a path up. There's always a way forward. There's always opportunities to get out of the rut. And I think that's one of the things that I found the hardest was getting out of that rut. I mean, hell, I'm still in that rut. I'm still in that rut. I'm still sad. I don't drink as much as I used to. Hell, I saw something nasty after she died. But then I managed to get myself off that and sort of semi get myself worked out back to normal. I know this hasn't been the most fun or interesting video, ladies and gentlemen, but one thing I do like about making these videos is it lets me vent. I mean, granted, most of you, if anyone watches this video, or if anyone watches this far into the video, I mean, I do like making these little vlogs, basically just talk about life and that. I can't play games all the time, but at the same time, I mean, sometimes life is a pain in the ass, sometimes life is good. And sometimes you have to make decisions that at the time you double think about. And anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to let you go. If you like what you see, if you like this channel, like these vlogs, hit that like button. Leave me a comment. Basically, tell me what are your coping categories? What are your coping strategies for when things get too rough and too high and too annoying? And just let me know. Maybe you've got a coping strategy that I haven't tried yet that may even help me. Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for stopping by, and I hope you have a great day.